Hey guys, this is Production Music Live with another quick tutorial, and some of you guys were asking how to make such a drumming here. So in this video I'm going to go step by step through this type of drumming here, and we're going to take a look at all these single elements here. And we have a kick and bass group here where we have our kick, a reverb kick, and each drum element has its own track here, its own simpler device and effect chain, so it's easier for us to see what is playing together here. So we have a kick, we have a reverb kick for the tail, we have a sub kick, an 808, some kind of Berg sound here. We're going through that in a minute. And then we have some bass elements that are not playing in this intro part here. Sub bass and chords and stuff are not playing. We have claps down here, a shaker, another shaker, hi-hats, and some tonal percussion kind of sounds. So we are going from basically track number 2 to track number 22. All these elements here are sort of drum elements. And then we are playing some leads on top and some Rhodes on top here. But let's quickly go through the drums elements first and only play the kick parts here. I'm deactivating our claps, shakers, shaker 2, hi-hats, percussive tonal things here, and now everything should be off, only the kick part playing. Okay, taking off some more stuff here. Only playing the kick now. So simple kick sample here, and velocity is up at 35% at the moment, and we have a volume of 12 decibels here, and we are playing the simple kick pattern, but we are playing it lower. We are not playing it on C3. We are playing it like this is the default note, but we are playing it one note lower. So kind of liked it more here, and it worked better with the groove. EQ on top, a little bit of a high cut here. Okay, so the next thing in line is our reverb kick here. This one, solo it. Be sure to be on headphones or on speakers that can show the sub-frequencies, or else you won't be able to hear this because we're very low down here. Let's play it without the effects on top. We have a reverb, overdrive, EQ8 and compressor. So turning all these off. Oh wow, so this is our this is our source sound. It's actually a sample out of our D Premium Volume 2 sample pack. So if we're going into that one, you will find that kick here. We have a couple of kicks for deep. We have a tech kicks here, and that's 41. So this one. Okay. So and we're playing that one here. But what happens now is we want to have this one playing this sobby reverb tail kind of thing. So we're putting this reverb on top. And that's actually a technique used a lot by our friend Johannes from Ableton Vlog. He's showing this technique on a bunch of his videos. It's very interesting. So you basically, what you do is you put in this reverb here, you cut the high input, and you're basically leaving a pre-delay of 2.5 milliseconds, and size is very small, decay time is quite short, and you're putting it all the way wet without any diffusion here. Reflections and diffuse are at 0. And then sounds really strange, but what you're doing, you're processing even more. You're putting an overdrive on top. Now that one is like really sounding like you're remodeling the apartment. And on top of that, an EQ8. So very steep curve here around, like we're cutting off around 74 with a steep high cut. And a bit of a low cut down here as well. And there you go, you have this clubby sub kind of thing in there. And now the problem is, if we're playing this together with our kick, they're coming in each other's way. This is just going to be too much sub information. So what we're doing now is we're sidechaining this reverb kick to our kick and then deciding when to bring it in. First we are making room for the kick, like this effect here, and then there's enough room for the reverb tail. So sidechain on. So it's always ducking when the kick is playing. Because without it, it's almost offbeat that way. Okay, so sub kick down here. This is a different sort of element, and if we're taking a look at a pattern here, you see and what we have here is a percussive element from our Deep Premium Volume 2 sample pack from the percussions part, Perk Free FX007, Perk Free FX007. This is the sound we are working with. And I'm taking off the effects. Chorus, sidechain. Nice. So this is the sound. Why is it so much lower? Because we transposed it down 11 semitones here. This one has power, but we still need to tame it a little bit. That's why we're using this EQ here to cut off this too much information stuff in the mid frequencies here. And then a bit of overdrive. Just putting it a bit higher, moving it a bit more into the higher frequencies, and then we're like spreading it out over the stereo spectrum with this chorus effect. It's more mono with it, without it. And another sidechain, just to be sure we're never really getting in the way of our kick. Okay, and this played together with those two other elements. Cool, so we have a really nice groove going on here. Like I have another 808 element playing along here. And that one is playing basically the exact same pattern. I'm just putting that one in because later we have a bass playing along a long held bass note in our main part. And this one is just working specifically against that bass because we have our basses here coming along. Play everything. And just to still have enough room for these groovy subkick elements, I used this 808 thing here and sidechained this bass to this 808. So whenever this pak pum, pak pum, pak pum is coming, that one ducks the sub bass here. So we still have that groove in here. and it's not eaten up by our sub bass. Okay, so that's what this one is good for, and it's just this tiny bit here. I'm just putting that in to have that one cut through the sub bass and make sure to have this groove playing along even if we're holding a long sub note. And you see it's focused on this frequency here, it's not an 808 per se. And then I'm making sure it's mono with this utility. And also sidechain it again. But it's not really needed. It's so off the kick pattern that you don't really need that. But anyways, we're just putting it in just in case. And that one is just to make sure we're cutting through with this sub kick element here. The other element down here, Berk. Deep Berk. It's just playing every second note of the pattern, and it ensures that you have a bit of this overdriven feeling in there, a little bit roughness. For example, if we're taking this one, A-B, this one. And it also ensures that both of these rhythmical elements don't sound exactly the same. It kind of gives an edge to the other one. And how does that one sound without the overdrive? And again, this one is transposed an octave down. So that's a trick for getting these drums together here. If we're going up an octave, something completely different, but it's sometimes very interesting to put these in. An octave lower even. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So keeping it that way for now. We also have a little bit of processing on this group. We have a bass device here with a bit warmer saturator with a glue compressor. This EQ here is just in there for the occasional low cut. So you can just go up and high pass that one. But I don't want to mess around with this one right now. And then we have a mid-side EQ and a limiter. And again, our friend and techno producer Johannes came up with that one, and you can actually get it in his default techno template and also in this template here. And I'm going to put a link into the description. Let's A/B this device. Well, basically we're adding a lot of gain also with our limiter here, so don't be tricked if I'm taking this one down to 0. It's more representative. Basically we're just adding a little bit of drive, we're gluing it a little bit together. And then we are making everything a lot louder. Okay, let's see what else we have here. We have claps. High clap and a low clap. with a short reverb decay times below 1 second, and then just a little bit of EQ here and a little bit of EQ there. And it's not really that interesting. So I'm going over to the shakers. So this is our shaker pattern. So 2 and 3 in 16th notes, and always play the last note with the other one. It's an interesting one. And we are playing shakers again out of our, like all the drums here are part of the D Premium Volume 2 package. So if you're interested, there's a link in the description for that one. What are we doing with them? We are obviously sidechaining them. And then just a little bit of a low cut. And what is the frequency shifter? Well, it's not really needed here. Well, not in that setting, but you could use it if you like it. And shaker 2 does something similar. I don't know, it's a little different. Let's take a look at that pattern. So one is playing through all the time, but with different velocities. I think that's an interesting pattern. But for example, Guido, our friend and mixing engineer, who has prepared a complete online course session on how to professionally mix this song here, this project file, with third-party plugins, with state-of-the-art plugins, he kind of disagrees. He doesn't really like this shaker. And he talks about that in this session, which is a lot of fun and very interesting, and you can pick up a lot of knowledge in that one. I'm also putting a link into the description. Well, that's just our shaker pattern. We are combining 3 different shakers to keep it interesting. And then we are applying sidechain on top, and also we have a little bit of reverb going on, which is send reverb in this case. So return channels, write reverb, and we are playing that one on top with 1.4 seconds of reverb time. So that's that. And then we have this clave sound here, or clave, or whatever you will name it. That one is sitting on the beat. And a longer, well, not too long, but a little bit of a reverb on top here. Ping pong delay and sidechain. Turn this off. That's our sound source, tonal percussive element out of D Premium. And since we are playing it together with the kick, we really need that sidechain because you don't want to have it bumping right on top of your kick. It would sound like this. Just a little bit too much, and that's why I'm sidechaining it. But you can also see I'm bringing it in slightly, like 19 milliseconds before the kick. Moving like the starting point of that thing a bit in front of the grid. And that's how we are already playing a little bit of it before and a little bit of it after the kick transient. And that's what the sidechain is arranging here. So that's a very interesting element. We have this percussive thing here. So this guy. And that's our pattern. 16th notes, as you can see. Okay, and very mono with the utility, overdrive, active, EQ, short drums, decay time in this reverb here. That's the raw sound, overdrive on top. Okay, low cut, mono, and reverb. And you can hear there's a delay. So if we are taking a look at the send, you see we are sending it to this delay group here. And you see we have a 3-to-3 delay in the simple delay. Minus 18 decibels. And this tonal one here is just a long element with a long reverb tail. A long tail just giving a nice bit of ethereal atmosphere. We still haven't talked about the hi-hats. A quite important element here. Pan to the right. And what happened here? So we have, this is a weird name for such a device. We have this close hi-hat, a Skin 18 sample, and then we have a little bit of vinyl distortion and EQ on top. Another low cut on the group, but you shouldn't worry too much about that one. Vinyl distortion. Giving it more body in this case. And then low cut. Taking a bit of too low body stuff away. And that one goes to the right in this case and gets a little bit of room and delay with our right reverb. So that one goes to the right and this delay effect that is playing everywhere. So. And later we are going to play a ride along. And that one just kind of makes that hi-hat, that main offbeat hi-hat, a bit longer and more taily, and it kind of gives a nice drive to it, in my opinion. Okay, so this is the drumming for this track. So it's not the most complex drumming, but it's definitely in the details here to get it right. If you're interested in the complete project file, it's available through our website. And also if you're interested in the drum samples, you can pick up the Premium Volume 2 here. And if you're interested in how to take this result here and professionally mix and master it with state-of-the-art third-party plugins, we have a new masterclass by our friend Guido for it. You can check out that one as well. And as always, feel free to visit our website for more resources for this analog techno kind of style and other styles. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I hope to see you next time.